Yes, indeed. And it's on. And you know that it's on. What's going on, YouTube? Coming at you, Reggie B, aka the Growth Advocate, coming at you once again with another YouTube Live and Instagram Live because it is the last Monday of the month. And you know what that means, like we always do about this time, you feel me? So in this video, I'm going to bring forward some assets, some personal assets, some commodities. So we're going to talk about money. I know money is a favorite topic to many. So we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about time, and we're going to talk about energy. Along with that, as I was prepping for this live stream, I decided to add another asset, and that asset is health. Health is just as good, just as important as money, time, and energy. So we're going to talk about four assets, four commodities: time, money, energy, and health. And what I want you to do with those four assets is I want you to think about it as we're chopping it up, as we're talking about it. I want you to think about, out of those four, what is most important to you. And I want you to rank them in order, rank all four in order, right? So what is the most important all the way to the least important? That's what I want you to do. I want you to rank them in order. So some may feel like money is most important to them. And I feel like a lot of people do feel that money is more important over time, energy, and health. Some people may feel differently, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. Once again, feel free to leave a comment. You know, we just chopping it up here. This is what we do when we go live on Instagram and YouTube. You feel me? We just chop it up. So at any time, if you're watching this live or if you're watching a replay, feel free to leave a comment below. I would love to receive your feedback. Let me know. So let's grow and let's go. So as I mentioned before, the topic of discussion for this live stream is I want you to think about, really just think about what is most important to you between money, time, energy, and health. And once again, I want you to rank them in order, right? So as I mentioned before, a lot of people they feel like the most important thing in their life is money. And I get it. And at least part of me don't blame you, because money is used to fund our necessities, if you think about it, right? So our basic needs is food, shelter, clothing, and basically, for the most part, what do we need to ensure that our needs are being fulfilled? We need money. We need money to buy food. We need money to put clothes on our body. And we need money to, make sure that we maintain shelter over our heads, right? So, of course, many of us is going to think that money is the most important asset out of those four things, right? So, also, money is used for entertainment. As humans, we like to be entertained, right? We love to be entertained. We like to go to the movies. We like to, probably go to like the bars, happy hours, whatever entertains us, right? So in order for us to be entertained, we need money, right? Of course. Of course. And you know what? What else people use money for? Which is kind of unfortunate to me. They use money to impress people. You know what I'm saying? It's like you want to impress people with your money. You want to kind of show people how much you make. Keeping up with the Joneses, right? You want to show people what kind of car you drive. You want to wear these top brand clothes, show people what you got. And hey, it's all good. If that's what you do, that's what you do. But we use money for that as well, right? And by design, I feel like is that people feel like that we really need money that bad, that we need money more than anything else. That's just the way society is right now. As I mentioned before, it's enough that we need to fund our basic needs and our necessities, right? But there's other things that we spend money for, right? So I feel like a lot of people are going to think that out of those four, money, time, energy, and health, that money is the most important thing to have, the most important asset to have, right? So, You know, this society is all about grinding and hustling and paper chasing, get rich or die trying, that type of thing. You feel what I'm saying? So it's, again, it's by design. Society puts it out there that we really need this money, that we got to be some go-getters. And don't get me wrong, and I'm saying all this, and we really, money is really a necessity. It really is. You know, people, for many people, their goal is to be a millionaire. You know, I've even said it myself in the past. I said, you know what? It'll be cool to be a millionaire. It'll be cool to have as much money as I can get. That'll be cool, because I feel like if I'm a millionaire, or if I get close enough to it, my life is going to be good. And you know, I agree with that to a degree. And so yeah, that's what many of us think, right? But you know what comes along with money? Sacrifice. Sacrifice. Because in order for you to get money, and or get as much money as you can, you have to sacrifice time. Which leads me to the second asset, the second commodity, time. Some of you may feel like perhaps time is our most valuable asset over money. And the thing about money, as I mentioned before, if you want to get that money, you got to sacrifice your time. You know, a lot of us, we go out here, we get on our jobs, we work in OT to get more money, and we may just work regular full-time hours, right, to get money. We seeking raises, we're seeking other jobs. So if you're, you know, if you're at a job and you see the opportunity to get another job because that particular job pays more money, you're probably going to quit your current job and go for that job that pays more. So this is what we do when it comes to money, right? And again, I mentioned we're sacrificing time. That's what we do. You know, in order for us to have more money, we have to sacrifice our time. And I'll tell you this. I feel like time and money goes hand in hand, right? But I'm going to tell you this. The main difference between money and time, and you might have heard this before because I've heard this on a number of occasions. The main difference between time and money is that we lose money, but we can get money back. But if we lose time, we can't get that back. That's the difference between the two. So that in itself, some people might say that time is more important than money. And maybe not. Maybe you still feel that money is more important than time, and that's okay. You know, that's how you see it. That's how you rank it. That my money is more important than my time. And that's okay. But with that being said, in regards to if we lose our time, we can't get it back. This is true. I want to ask y'all something, and feel free to leave a comment. Although we lose time, can we redeem time? Can we redeem ourselves for lost time? Something to think about. And I feel like with that, I feel like we can. We can redeem our time. And how do we do that? We need to start by not wasting time. We need to stop wasting time, because if you've lived long enough, there have been a number of times where you have wasted time. It's happened to all of us, I feel, right? You know, you live and you learn. But we want to get to a point where we need to stop wasting time. That is the first step, I feel like, to redeeming our time. And then we must go forward. Right. Exactly, Tony. Yes, accomplish goals faster. Yeah, it's possible. We can definitely do that. It's all about managing your time, you know, setting goals for yourself. You heard of SMART goals, right? You know, that's an acronym, SMART goals. Be specific about your goals and be time specific. You know, you want to think about that when you're setting goals for yourself, especially the time specific part, right? As long as you have a proper laid out plan to accomplish goals, you should be able to accomplish your goals, you know, You should be able to accomplish them in a timely manner. So yeah, I feel like that we could actually redeem ourselves from the time that we lost, right? Accomplishing goals faster, right? You know, managing your time. Stop wasting time. And then from there, just go forward. Just go forward as you go along on your journey. And just be mindful. Every step you take, just think about it and be mindful of your time. Manage your time well. Stop wasting time. And you can do that by utilizing time management activities and practices. There are a number of things that you can do where you can manage your time, right? Maximize your time. There's a few things. And I have an episode of that on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check it out. Be sure to check it out. So in the past, I mentioned that we've wasted a lot of time. And it could have been like due to the lack of activity, right? We say that we want to do things, you know, something comes into our mind, something comes to our spirit that, hey, you know, I want to do this. But yet, due to our lack of activity, we don't get it done. Another reason why we don't get things done is because of procrastination. I'm not going to say I am, but I am a recovering procrastinator. And it's crazy because during my journey, there was a point of time where I would declare, and that's another thing. We need to be mindful of what we affirm and what we declare. But there was a point of time where I would declare myself a procrastinator. I used to tell people that, right? It was like when I was going along in my journey and I was trying to do better for myself and I was trying to do things, just take myself to the next level and grow and develop and all that good stuff. There was a point of time where as I was going along on this journey, you know, I would strive to achieve goals and I would strive to grow. And then I'm presented with opportunities, whether it's, you know, whether I create the opportunity myself or I connect with people and they have an opportunity for me. And the thing I used to say is when I didn't come through, when I didn't follow through on the opportunities, and then I follow up with people. And I used to tell them, you know what, forgive me, I'm a procrastinator. I just be procrastinating like that, man. You know, sorry I didn't show up, but I'm a procrastinator. That's crazy. I used to actually tell people this, that I was a procrastinator. But since then, I've gotten away from that. I don't declare myself that anymore. And there was a point of time where I wanted to eliminate that particular word from my vocabulary, right? And there's a few other words, but being a procrastinator, procrastination was one of those words that I wanted to get out of my vocabulary. But I decided to face the fact that I was once a procrastinator. And you know what? I share that with the intent that it helps others, people who are currently procrastinator, who see themselves as a procrastinator. I hope to help you out. So that's my purpose. That's why I had to bring that back, right? So being a procrastinator, another thing that kind of, you know, stops us in our tracks when it comes to time is fear. Fear is a major thing that we lose because we have lost so much time because we have a fear of stepping forth, that we have a fear of going after certain goals. We have a fear of leveling up to the, you know, getting to, you know, prosperity and fulfillment and all that stuff. Fear is, you know, we're scared of the unknown. And then as we're, you know, fearful and we're shaking in our boots, before you know it, all that time has passed by, right? So once again, I feel like that, you know, if you live long enough, as I mentioned, you've lost time over the years doing your journey. It happens. But again, I feel like that we can redeem our time by going forward, being mindful of our time, manage our time well, stop wasting time if we can help it, and just move forward. I think those are some steps that we can take to redeem our time. So we've talked about money and we talk about time. Two important assets. Again, before we go to the next asset, again, I want to encourage you to rank the 4 assets that I'm discussing on this live stream. I want you to rank the 4. We're talking about money, we're talking about time, we're about to discuss energy, and we're going to discuss health. So feel free to rank those in order what's most important. So what's the most important asset to the least important asset, okay? So some of you might say time, some of you might say money. Some of you might say energy. Now, energy, I feel like, is an interesting asset. And maybe it's just me, but I recently realized the importance of energy. Maybe it's just me. It could be you, but maybe it's just me, right? And I didn't really realize the importance of energy. Now, I was hearing this stuff about, protecting your energy and, hey, my energy is off when I be around this person and this and that or whatever. And that type of thing, right? But I really didn't realize the importance of energy until I read the book, The Energy Bus. The Energy Bus, I'm sorry. So that's a book recommendation. I would recommend you all to read that book if you haven't as of yet. The Energy Bus. It's a great read. And after I read that book, I realized the importance of protecting your energy. More specifically, protecting yourself from energy vampires. Now, in the book, it talks specifically about energy vampires, and I feel like they put some emphasis on people. Along with it, I feel like energy vampires can apply what I like to refer to as nouns. So we learn in school that nouns, the definition of nouns is a person, place, or things. So not only do energy vampires, I feel like, apply to people, but it also applies to places and things as well. And I'll say this as well about energy. Everyone doesn't deserve your energy. Everyone is not worthy of your energy. And I'll say everyone and everything, right? And from time to time, we'll put some energy into certain people. How we do that. We hang out with people, we get around people, we surround ourselves with people. And from there, we're sort of putting out their energy, we're receiving their energy, that type of thing. And it's good. If you do that from like an initial connection, okay, all is well. But then from there, we have to determine, after we have that initial interaction, that initial connection, who is truly worthy of our energy. Do we continue to get around certain people? Do we continue to surround ourselves with people for the sake of our energy? We must identify that after the initial connection, after the initial interaction. Same thing goes for places and things as well. When you go into certain spaces, it could be anything, whatever it is. And I feel like in regards to our energy, I feel like that the places where we can learn, the places where we can grow, the places where we get value, those places are worthy of our energy, in my opinion. There's some other places you can go to. It's okay to unwind and go out and hang out with friends, and it's all good. And that can do something positive for your energy as well. But some of these spaces can be an energy vampire as well. Some of these spaces are not good for our energy. And with that, we must disconnect from those spaces, those places. And even going back to the people, if they're not good for our energy, if they are energy vampires, I would encourage you to disconnect from them. Also, things. There are certain things that we may engage in. Once again, certain things that we engage in, if it's going to help us grow, if it's going to bring value, it's okay to engage in those things. But once again, if it doesn't, then I would encourage you to disconnect from those things for the sake of your energy. Energy vampires. Let's get them out of there for the sake of our energy. So far, we've talked about money, we've talked about time, and we talked about energy. So before I go into the fourth one, once again, I want to do a reset. I want to encourage you all as we're chopping it up, as we're talking about it. Whether you're looking at this right now or you're looking at the replay, I want to encourage you to rank what's most important to you in regards to the 4 assets, the 4 commodities that I am mentioning to you. Once again, money, time, energy. And in just a moment, we're going to talk about health. So rank those 4 in order. What's most important to the least important, right? So I want you to rank those in order. So let's talk about health. While we're talking about most important asset, that quote that's out there, that our health is our wealth, right? I mentioned to you the contrast between time and money. You know, we can lose money and get it back. But if we lose time, we can't get that back. And I did say with that in itself, many of us, some of us might think that time is more important than money. But I mentioned to you once again, our health is our wealth. Now, with all of that being said itself, do that make it the most important asset in our eyes to us? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But our health is our wealth. I've heard that on a number of occasions. I've heard that from people who many view as successful, even people who appear to have, I'm not going to say a lot of money, but who are well off financially. I've heard some of those people say that our health is our wealth. And it makes a lot of sense in my opinion, because it's like, if you're not maintaining your health and wellness, you know, if you're not feeling good, if you're not the best version of yourself, then what does money matter, right? You know, investing your time and making sure that you are in a great place health-wise, all about health and wellness, right? And the thing that it takes for us to maintain our health, to maximize our health, that we have to be intentional and we have to be disciplined when it comes to maintaining our health. Understanding that health is truly our wealth. And there are some things that we need to do to maintain our health. Maintaining our health from a physical standpoint, mental, emotional, and our overall wellness. We must maintain and we must maximize being intentional in our health and our wellness. Our physical health, making sure that we're active. You know, activity could include cardio, strength training, stretching. I like to say from time to time, do not forsake stretching. Stretching is amazing. Stretching, I feel like, can be a game changer for your overall health and wellness. So don't forsake that. I would definitely encourage people to stretch as much as you do cardio, as much as you do strength training. If there's some active things that you like to engage in, like walking, running, cycling, swimming, I just picked up pickleball. That's something that I'm going to start in just a moment. I play pickleball, man. Pickleball is fun. Pickleball is dope, man. And I played. It was something that I had been intrigued by for quite some time. Is pickleball. because if you've been connected with me long enough, you know that there was a point in time that I was really on that tennis court, that I was playing tennis for a while, and I kind of got away from it. That's a whole nother story. But while I was doing tennis, I loved it. And then what started emerging, what it may have been like what, a year or two, that pickleball started emerging. That more people was participating in pickleball. And it intrigued me. I've talked to different people, and they said it's just like tennis but better. And I tried it out for the first time about 2 weeks ago. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. I tried out pickleball for the very first time after being intrigued with it for quite some time, and I dig it. I'm not gonna lie, I dig it. I love pickleball. I would do it again. I look forward to doing it again. I look forward to it being part of my health and wellness routine, what I'm already doing, right? And as always, I'm going to continue work in progress in regards to my health and wellness. Like most things in my life, I'm going to continue work in progress. But yeah, from a physical standpoint, just being active, right? Mental health, society have brought a lot of awareness to mental health. It seemed like that has been really intentional in doing so, protecting our peace, protecting our mental health. So I would encourage you to be intentional and disciplined in that as well. Just disconnecting and eliminating things out of your life that's going to have a negative effect on your mental health. For some people, there may be some trauma, maybe, they've had some childhood trauma or any type of trauma somewhere in their lives where it has had an effect on their mental health. Try to address that the best way that you can for the sake of your overall health and wellness. Same thing goes for our emotional health. That's a thing as well. Protecting our emotions. Learn to manage our emotions, because there's some things out there that will have an effect on our emotions. So I would encourage you to keep your emotions in check. And also our overall wellness, which includes, the food and the beverages that we consume, right? The food and the beverages that we consume, be mindful of that. We talked about that before on one of the previous episodes of the Growth Times Infinity podcast. Just being mindful of your consumption. So just overall physical, mental, emotional, and overall wellness, that's something that we want to be intentional in maintaining in regards to our health, right? So those are the 4 assets. Those are the 4 commodities that I wanted to share with you. Once again, I would encourage you to rank them in order, from, most important to you to the least important to you. Now, after talking about all that, do you feel like money is your most important asset, your most important commodity? And why is that? Or perhaps you feel like time is most important above those 3. It could be energy. As I mentioned before, that's something that I really discovered. I really discovered the importance of preserving our energy. So energy could be your most important, most valuable commodity or most valuable asset. Or is it health? Because our health is our wealth. Maybe that's the most important thing with you, for you rather. So feel free to share with me which one is most important to you. Let me know. And to kind of wrap up this discussion, kind of wrap it up. When it comes to those 4 assets, those 4 commodities, it's all about how you manage them, right? It's all about how you manage them. I mentioned in money that the goal for many people is to be a millionaire. So my feeling on that is, while being a millionaire would be great, it would be great. I feel like being a millionaire would answer a lot of our problems. But truth be told, and the fact of the matter is, so many people strive, or they have a goal, or they set out to be a millionaire, but very few people accomplish it. Not saying you won't. I want you to keep going for it. But just in case you don't accomplish that goal, my personal feeling about that is you can still make 5 figures and still be successful or have fulfillment or prosper. You can gain 6 figures and still be the same, have fulfillment and prosper. You don't necessarily have to be a millionaire. But if you really feel in your heart of hearts that you can achieve that millionaire status, please, I would encourage you to go for it. Go for it. So managing money, put yourself in a position where you don't have to sacrifice your time for money. We talked about that as well. We talked about when it comes to money, if you're striving, if you're looking to get more money, if you're seeking more money, more times than not, you have to sacrifice time. So this is something that I would encourage you to do because I've heard this before. And I know you've heard this before. Let's put ourselves in a position where we don't have to sacrifice all our time when it comes to paper chasing. You can invest in stocks. You can have your own business, create your own business. You can put yourself in a position where you are receiving passive income or residual income. That's something that I'm working on right now. Stay tuned for those details. But I'm cooking some. I'm working on some behind the scenes. But those are at least 3 ways that you can put yourself in a position where you don't have to sacrifice all your time in order for you to get money to maximize your finances. So I would encourage you to do that. So time management, money management, and when it comes to managing your time, you want to prioritize the things in your life. Whatever you have going on in your life, think about it. You may have a family. You may be in school. Of course, more than likely, you have a job or you work in a career. You may have your own business. So whatever your dynamic is in regards to that, I want you to prioritize your life. Just like I encourage you to prioritize those 4 assets, once you identify the important things that in your life that you're currently engaging in, I want you to prioritize that, right? Put yourself in a position where you are properly, effectively managing your time according to your dynamic, according to what you have going on in your life. So I would encourage you to do that. And with that, just be intentional and be disciplined in doing that. So once you prioritize the things in your life, once you lay out a plan, it's going to take discipline to stick with it, and it's going to take being intentional. So be mindful of that. Energy. How do we manage and maintain our energy? Staying away from those energy vampires, whether it's a person, place, or thing. Stay away from the energy vampires. Protect your energy at all costs. And one more thing I want to remind you of is that everyone is not worthy of your energy. So act accordingly. That's my tip for you in regards to maintaining and managing your time. What about health? How do we manage our health? Once again, it takes being intentional. It takes being disciplined. It takes being intentional in your activity. It takes being intentional in protecting your mental health at all costs. It takes being intentional in keeping your emotions in check. It takes being intentional in taking care of your overall wellness, what you eat, what you drink, and just keep track of everything. Keep track of your progress in regards to your health is a good way to manage and maintain your health. And be consistent. Be consistent in everything that you do. Not only with health, but also money, time, and energy. Peace and blessings to you as you continue your journey. So let me know what you think about that. Let me get some water real quick, y'all. Yeah, buddy. So let me know what you think about that. I appreciate you all tuning in, whether you tuned in live or you tuning into the replay. I appreciate you tapping in, tuning in into this discussion. And what we just talked about 4 of our personal assets, 4 of our precious commodities, and that was money, that was time, energy, and health. Once again, I'm going to say that I'm going to encourage you at least one more time. I want you to rank what is most important to you out of those 4. Rank them from most important to least important. Is money the most important asset to you, your personal asset? Or is it time? Or is it energy? Or is it health? Feel free to leave a comment below. I would love to receive your feedback. And also feel free. So once you share that ranking as far as what's most important to least important, feel free to share with me why you have that rank, why you feel whatever that top spot is. Why do you feel like that is the most important to you? Once again, feel free to leave a comment. I would love to receive your feedback. I am Reggie B, aka the Growth Advocate, and as always, I appreciate you tuning into this episode of the Growth Times Infinity podcast, coming at you on this live stream both on YouTube and Instagram. And until the next time, keep growing and keep going.